Here at Gundam Planet, we're at home. Now, due to some circumstances involving our upcoming move, if you didn't know about that, we're going to be moving to a new location. We're unable to film at Gundam Planet right now, so I've taken it upon myself to film our return to the review realm at my apartment. So, without further ado, I'm just going to get right to it. We got this massive kit, just came in last week. Might be 2 weeks ago by the time you're seeing this, but anyway, this is pretty recent. This is the latest Ver.Ka kit, and it is a beast. This is the FAZZ Ver.Ka. My experience with the FAZZ in the past, I didn't build the Double Zeta Ver.Ka, but I did build the original Master Grade FAZZ, and I hated that more than any kit I have ever built. So that's my frame of reference. I despised that thing. The gun was just two pieces you stuck together. Everything was a seam line. My fingers hurt afterwards. It was horrible. And you just you build it and it's a brick and it stands there. And that's fine. You know, that kid came out in 2002. But we're in 2020 now and I'm expecting more. So that's why I want to review this myself so that I can see if this thing stepped up and delivered what this beast should be. So without further ado, here we go. Let's take a look at the runners. Okay, I'm going to get this out of the way over here. So the first thing you see when you open this is this sheet of water slide decals that is literally the size of my face. So if you want to do all these, that's good on you. I don't think I'm going to do all these, but I'm going to do some of them because I really like these big numbers. So there's that. And then already I'm recognizing some of these parts from the old one, but this plastic is so much better. None of these have been reused. You can actually see the runner says MG FAZZ Ver.Ka, so these are not reused runners. Everything looks excellent so far. And then the second runner, you can see this one's kind of wiggly. I really like this because this is that IBO interframe plastic. I've been calling it that forever. I know I should know the technical term, but this is IBO interframe plastic. Looks really soft, really easy to work with. Really glad they did these for the black parts because those were the worst part of the original, was those interframes. So it looks like this is going to be so much easier to clean up the runner marks. I love it. This blue, or is this purple? I think this is purple. Really nice, really regal. I love shades of blue like that. These are really small. I like that they're doing a bunch of small runners. Like, look at these. Okay, I'm just going to keep pulling these out. Look how small these are. I can just hold them all in my one hand. This is crazy. All that. So these are going to be really detailed, really good color separation. And now here's what I'm talking about. In the original kit, the gun was two pieces. Two. So already, this is probably not the entire thing. In fact, this is definitely not the entire thing, but already the fact that this is so much more, I love it. I can't wait. Side note, build the weapons and accessories first, and everything you do. We've said that so much, but I feel the need to bring it up every time I do one of these. This one is also another massive runner, but I love this. I love the colors. I'm glad that there's a lot of variety in here. This is also that soft plastic. I'm just going to do this every time to indicate that it's soft plastic. We're going to do one of these. But you can see that these are like the missile hatches in here. There's so much molding detail. This is crazy. I'm really excited. I didn't even look at these runners at all before when I was unbagging them because I just wanted to see it now. But this gun, like the beam cannon that was previously two parts in the original, now it's, it was just one part for both barrels, but now everything seems to be its own part. Seems like they really pulled out all the stops for this. Now, as I said, I didn't build the Double Zeta Ver.Ka, so it's possible that some of this stuff was like that in that also, and I just wasn't exposed to it. But, oh my gosh, I don't even know what this is. This has to be some torso stuff. Another thing I don't know is if there's a transformation gimmick in here. I really hope there isn't, but I'll look at the instruction manual before I'm finished unboxing and tell you that. Here are all those missile pods. So glad it's not stickers. Honestly, 2020, there shouldn't be stickers for little details like this. You should have individually molded parts by this, and I'm really glad Bandai's sticking to it. We're starting with the exo armor here, you know, that crazy, the full armor part of the FAZZ. All this is really cool. You can see the little mouth vents that all the Gundams have are molded in there. I love it. This looks like, I'm not going to guess. We take the damage boxes that we get to review, so the V-fin actually came a little bit loose in transit, but it looks really good, it looks really sharp. There actually aren't safety nubs on this either, so that's really cool. They're maintaining that sharpness that we like to see. Got a couple colors on one runner, we got a couple more colors on one runner. I just lost the foil stickers in there, but that's okay. This is all the polycaps in the entire thing. So I'm interested to see how they work that into the joints for something that is this massive. We got chest armor. This thing's gonna be huge. I mean, obviously, I'm kind of an idiot for saying that now, but whatever. We got more multiple colors on here. I don't know why. This looks like two different cockpits for the core fighter. I'm guessing we're not going to use both those, but the fact that all this white is molded separately is just unbelievable. I love that. These are going to be tips of the vents and everything, and we just don't need to worry about stickers at all. I'm going to get these stickers just so I can say it. These are the only stickers included in the kit, and it's all like eye lenses, rifle lenses, everything like that. There's nothing else that you need to add separately other than just the like camera lenses for the weapons and accessories. So I love that. More small runners. We're just going to keep going through the small runners. Every runner's small. Big old leg piece. This is a huge stack that I'm accumulating over here. It's probably gonna fall off my table. This is really crazy, like gloss injected for these tubes. You can probably see the shine on the lights. This is like the shiniest black plastic I've ever seen. It reminds me of the RG Sinanju, the gloss injection that they did there. This is beautiful. Like I think that they should do that more. Maybe they have been, and I've just been out of the loop. So more small runners. I'm gonna pull this mountain back into frame so that you can see it when I'm done. This is the belt feeding, the flexible wire going to the, I don't know if they call it a hyper mega cannon or a mega bazooka or whatever it is they call it. But this is going to be between that and the mobile suit. And then this is a huge tray for the inner frame and the hands. So we're not getting the posable hands, which is pretty usual in modern master grades, which I'm glad about because these actually make it easier for it to hold accessories. So it's going to lock into place. It's going to be great. Looking forward to seeing that. There we go. Okay. And then these are all of that outer armor that is going to go layered on what I presume to be the original Double Zeta Ver.Ka. And then after that, we got that huge leg armor. And this looks like a boat, so I don't know what that's going to be. We're going to find that out later. And then lastly, we got clear lenses, and we got big ol' stuff. I feel like big ol' stuff could just summarize this entire thing. So let me just flip through this manual real quick and see, does this thing transform? Because, man, I kind of wish it wouldn't, but we're going to find out. Doesn't look like they're including instructions on how to, so maybe even if it does, they're just telling you to ignore it. But already I'm seeing the backpack and the gun is page 27, 28, 29, 30, 31. So that's 4 pages for that gun that was previously. So I'm so glad they fixed that. But here it all is. This is the whole thing. So I'm just gonna get started because it's gonna take me like an actual decade to finish this. So by the time you see this, we'll probably already be moved. But anyway, I'll be back to show you everything there is about this kit. I'm back with this guy. Now, there are a couple things I want to bring to your attention before I go into the spinny base shots, because I really like that format. We're going to go back to that. But I did want to come back in front of the camera to show you a couple things that really interested me about this kit. While I was building it, I noticed that what they did is they duplicated a lot of runners and then specified in the manual what color to do. So there will be 2 identical runners with the identical parts, but one is white and one is light gray, and they specify on the runner like this is you need the white one, you need the light gray one. So you end up with like a ton of duplicate parts. Like right off the bat, I have a stack of runners over here that I'm really trying not to tip over, but like the beam saber parts, here they are in light gray if you want to do it that way, but the kit wants you to build it like this. So you actually have a lot of freedom that way, and people who scratch build and custom build and use all these parts are actually going to be very happy because I'm going to show you how much is left over after you finish the kit. Like that was the finished kit. Have all of this still left. Like some of these, like you see, alright, so like this one only has like 5 parts, but still this is pretty substantial. But some of these runners are completely full. I did not take a part off of this runner to build the entire thing. Like you have so much ammo here. This is like the entire head. You have a pilot here. This is obviously from the Double Zeta because it says 2017 on the back of the runner. So I mentioned in the first section that I'm not sure how much of it's going to be reused. That was kind of a stupid thing for me to say because basically all of this is reused. But like, look at this. Look how many parts are still on here after the kit is complete. I'm not going to waste your time going through all of these, but again, this is almost full. This is almost full. It's crazy. There's so much extra material here. I don't understand the manufacturing side of things, but apparently this is more cost effective for Bandai to just crank out all these parts that you're never going to use rather than making a new mold or something. So anyway, to go back to the fact that this is reusing a lot of parts, you can also just build a full gray double Zeta if you want with the parts that you're provided. I obviously didn't do that because I wanted to get into the full armor part, and you know, I really like it, but I wanted to mainly address the extra runners and show you like this. Like, look at the stack of these compared to the model kit. Just the sheer amount of extra stuff that you get here. So some of you are probably gonna love that because that's like a master grade full of parts. So with that in mind, and also there are some inconsistencies on here that you're gonna notice when I zoom in on this, just from different things I had to work with. When I mentioned that I couldn't film at Gundam Planet the first time, it was because we were preparing to move. I don't know if you guys have been following the news lately, but a lot of us are inside now because we shouldn't be outside. So we are practicing responsible social distancing, and I am just continuing to do this from home, but that also kind of limited the supplies I had. I had never put on decals before without using those really fancy Tamiya cotton swabs because they're so good. They don't have any fuzz, and they really help eliminate the setter and the softer when you're done. So I had to use some name brand Q-tips, and there's a lot of fuzz, so all these decals look pretty inconsistent, but you gotta work with what you have, you know? So that's what we did. Without further ado, I'm gonna get real down into the nitty gritty. We're going to zoom in on this a lot. We're going to talk about some details. I'm sorry for the washing machine. You know, you gotta take care of chores when you're self quarantining. So anyway, here we go. We're going to get right down to it. And now it's time for the voiceover. So some of the first things I want to mention come down to the mobile suit design, which has some questionable decisions that I'm sure some of you who are better versed in the Gundam wiki would be able to educate me on. First of all, when you're assembling the arms, only one of the arms has the attachment for the double beam cannon on it. The instruction manual tells you to put this on the right side, which would mean both the back-mounted Hyper Mega Cannon and the double beam cannon are on the same side of the body. It seems a little ridiculous to put both of a Gundam's two weapons on one side of its body. I countered this by just putting the arms on opposite sides, which is very easy to do, but it's still a strange decision. Second, I don't understand why the belt that attaches to the Hyper Mega Cannon is coming out of the side closer to the body, when it would make much more functional sense and also make posing much easier if it came from the outside. As it stands, it loops weirdly in front of the torso and down and around to the back. This, unfortunately, there is no way to change due to the way that the parts attach to the cannon. Additionally, the cannon is obviously designed to be attached to the backpack, but doing this makes it extremely difficult for the trigger to reach the trigger hand in the kit. Many more recent kits feature a hand part with an angled wrist to try and fix this problem, like many of the Origin Zaku's that you have the bazookas over the shoulder, but it appears Bandai didn't want to make a new set of hands for this specific kit versus the Double Zeta, which is disappointing. It kind of reminds me of the high-res Wing Zero kit not being able to hold both rifles at the same time. Why wouldn't you make the marquee weapon or feature of the kit more intuitive? Last note on the accessories, no beam sabers. This is a huge bummer. I have no idea why they couldn't just include those massive PG beam saber parts from the original FAZZ MG. It makes no sense. They have it right there. It was already molded. Now that that's all out of my system, onto the build. Luckily, it was for the most part very intuitive. If you've built the Double Zeta Ver.Ka, you definitely won't be surprised by anything because it's the same. The parts of the kit I enjoyed the least were actually the Double Zeta specific parts that were implemented for the transformation gimmicks. The legs in particular really annoyed me, which I remember from the original FAZZ as well. The knees have to be attached on a weird swivel and locked into place on a subsequent step, and I really wish they could just do away with that stuff. I thought the parts were supposed to lock in place when you first insert them. Apparently they're just kind of meant to hang there, and I ended up jamming one of the parts under my fingernail because I was trying to get it in somewhere it didn't go, and I just hate that stuff. I'd take a structurally sound finished product over the inability to turn something into a scrander, or whatever they call it in the Double Zeta, any day. For the FAZZ parts, I actually had no complaints. All the new plastic is extremely easy to work with, and the parts fit perfectly where they should. Armor is layered on top of other armor in intuitive ways, particularly on the legs, and it all stays in fixed positions throughout the posing process. Even for a kit this size, the only real articulation problems I had while posing for this review was getting the big gun to stay in the hand. Shouldn't that be the easy part? To be honest, I built this kit completely out of a sense of obligation to conquer my old demons. The original FAZZ Master Grade I built was salvaged from a second-hand booth at New York Comic Con and was already partially built, and the sections that were built were done so badly that I had to disassemble, clean, and reassemble the entire thing. I hated every second of it. The posts actually came up on my time hop while I was working on this kit and I almost screamed. So the bottom line is, for a kit that I had literally no expectations for and no personal attachment to, I really enjoyed this build. It's a big time sink, which is perfect for the situation that many of us have found ourselves in, and it's an absolute beast of a finished product. It looks so tough and so mean, and it can be posed in a wide enough variety of ways that you're not just building a statue the way you were the first time around. Plus, all that extra plastic I showed you before will be an added bonus for a lot of you who love custom builds. If you're looking for a kit that will eat a week of your time, look monstrous, take up an entire shelf on your detolf, pose well, and not be in PG territory, then there's absolutely no reason not to grab this kit and give it a go.